Well, well, well. Look what the wolf dragged in.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
But what happened? Well, it all started, almost 2 weeks ago now? It all started almost 2 weeks ago when I had the genius idea that checking out the new Destiny expansion would be a good idea for some content, maybe a couple of streams. Stupid. That single mistake set up a snowball effect that I will be feeling for quite some time. But first I want to make something very, very clear. This was not a vacation. There were no breaks. Fish and I had planned to go through the Last Light expansion pack, and then we were going to go through the Final Shape expansion pack, and we were going to have a whole bunch of fun, and it was going to be great. Just about every part of that plan went wrong except for one, which was a custom 1v1 PvP match between me and the fish. We actually managed to do that. Unfortunately, that's where mistake number 2 happened. And the day that video was supposed to go up, I made a tweet about it and everything. I tried to get fancy. I thought, I'm gonna make a custom thumbnail, and it's gonna look really good, and people are gonna love it. YouTube did not love it. That thumbnail got me a community guideline strike, which is where the original 7 days were supposed to come from, because you can't upload or do anything for 7 days. In that time, I thought to myself, okay, well, I'll just be proactive. This is a great time to come up with some new ideas and some new content, right? Destiny is clearly not going to pan out for anything. So if that's what I was doing, then surely I have tons and tons of content to show for all of my hard work during those 7 days, right? Well, there were some attempts that were made, that's for sure. And even though they won't ever really see the light of day, I can at the very least give you an idea of what I was cooking up and how in my head they were going to play out. Because I still genuinely think that they're good ideas, I don't have the skills, I don't have time, and I couldn't really get anyone to kind of help me out as far as like feedback and other ideas go. So let's get started. The first scrapped plan was a playthrough of an older JRPG, slightly older, it's still relatively modern, but a JRPG called Valkyria Chronicles 4. How would a game that niche and that old, how would that ever possibly garner attention? Well, take a look at this. See, in my head, the plan was as follows. There are multiple characters in Valkyria Chronicles 4 that make up a squad, Squad E. They go through this made-up war, having multiple battles, and it is a turn-based RPG, but you still move around in third person, then you take aim and you shoot at your targets. So I thought to myself, oh, that's cool. I could get me, Chip, Momo, and a couple of other 3D VTubers that I'm friends with, and we can take the place of all of the members of Squad E. And with the power of 3D VTubing magic, we'll be the ones running around, taking cover, aiming and shooting. And that will make up for the relatively slow nature that's commonly associated with a turn-based RPG. And it'll be great, and everybody will love it. Unfortunately, the proof of concept that you saw was like my absolute best. That clip that just played was me using every editing trick that I know of. I know that there are more, but I'm just not a good editor. I'm not the best video editor, I should say. So, the things were going to get jank. The whole thing was going to be jank. It was basically going to be that level of quality with multiple people's 3D models. And while I still think that it's a novel idea, I just don't think that I would be able to execute it without it looking just not great. Now, I don't know how much the others would appreciate, being a part of something that looks like that. But of course, that's not the only thing that I was up to. Oh, no. See, during that time, Shin Megami Tensei 5 got out of Nintendo lockdown and released on Steam. Not just PC, it released on Steam. I had every intention of getting that game too. But the previous mistake of getting both Last Light and the Final Shape in Destiny 2 led me to a slight miscalculation of my funds, and I can't afford it. Why is this a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because I have 3D models of literally every single demon from Shin Megami Tensei 5. All of them. The whole collection. So the plan for that would have been to do a playthrough of that game and to use the creatures in said game as essentially stands. They would kind of follow me around as we explore the world and go through the story. I'm not sure if the plan was to have you guys vote on what I swap to on like a weekly basis, so every week we change to a different demon as we go through the entire catalog. Everybody gets a chance to see their favorite up close and in person, kind of. Not really. But unfortunately, like I said, didn't get the game, can't get the game. But even that isn't all. I thought to myself, well, maybe I can't get Shin Megami Tensei 5, but I've owned Persona 4 since the day that it came out on Steam. And I just so happen to have every Persona from Persona 5 Royal. So that same plan could have easily been applied to Persona 4 Golden because of how much overlap there is between 4 and 5. You get what I'm saying? Problem with that is that the 3D models of the Personas, the most important ones being Izanagi and some of the Personas that the other main characters use, Konohana Sakuya, Jiraiya, Tomoe, Take Mikazuchi, and I feel like I'm missing one. I'm missing several, but you get the point. A lot of the personas from the main characters were completely and totally busted. And I'm sure somebody who's talented in Blender can probably fix them. That somebody is not me. And the time that it would have taken to fix those personas, only for them to only be used for possibly a week, if even that. Not great. Also, the Persona series in general has a whole lot of talking, and while I'm very confident in my ability to paraphrase sections of the game that are a bit slower, I'm not sure if that, combined with the novelty of having 3D personas following me around, would be enough to keep people interested for even a partial playthrough of that game. So, that idea has also been scrapped. I still have all of the files though. And the last and final thing that I have been working on heavy during this extended leave was World of Final Fantasy. I am a massive Final Fantasy fan. Said it many times in the past, I'll say it many more times in the future. Love that series. But recently I've been thinking that I haven't really had much opportunity to prove it. I don't play Final Fantasy XIV anymore, and I have no interest in playing the new expansion pack or going back to the game. It's got a monthly fee, and it doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game anymore. It kind of just feels like some other MMO wearing its skin, like a weird flesh puppet. But World of Final Fantasy would have been a great idea to introduce people who are new to the series, because it's a collection of all of the characters and creatures that have made the series iconic throughout its 35 plus years. And I just so happen to have every single Mirage as a 3D model. That means that I have every single monster from Final Fantasy 1 all the way up to Final Fantasy 14, and most, if not all, of its variants, and some original designs that are exclusive to World of Final Fantasy. That's pretty cool, I think. The problem is that once again, these files aren't broken like the Persona 3D models, but all of the files have been completely and totally out of order. They're random strings of letters and numbers. And I have had the extreme pleasure of manually going through and sorting each and every creature by hand. That means that I open it up. Here's how busted an individual you have to be. I have been opening up texture files on one application, and then on the other, which is the folder that the files are in, I'm renaming the 3D model to the creature. That means that I can identify every single creature in the entire Final Fantasy series by its unwrapped textures. I'm gonna put this on screen. Leave a comment down below if you know what Final Fantasy creature it is just based off of this. I do. So anyway, that's how my weeks have been going. Once again, World of Final Fantasy is a turn-based RPG, and I don't think that I have the gumption to hold people's attention throughout an entire playthrough of that game. So that's not going to work. But I do have another idea, and this is one I'm actually going to go with. I have so much info on this series, its worlds, its characters, and its creatures, that I thought to myself, maybe I can still use these and make like a trivia series going through all of the characters, creatures, and items and stuff. I also have some other supplementary material to make sure that I don't misinform anyone on anything, so you can be sure that any facts that I give are accurate. I can get a lot of videos out of that. They'll be short, so nobody should get bored, hopefully. And who knows, maybe along the way, one of you might be interested in trying a Final Fantasy game that isn't 14 or 7. I did come across some other stuff that would make for some great streams, great videos, but I'm going to keep those hush-hush for me. This has been the bulk of what I've been doing for the past 13, 14 days. Hopefully you didn't miss me too much, and that hopefully you'll be looking forward to what I've been cooking up in the future. Thanks for following me up until now. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all of my friends for putting up with me. I have been a less than fun individual to be around since all of this failing and flopping around has started. So, thanks for sticking by me. And as always, I will see you all in another video.